Right now at 7, the full Ironman Wisconsin Triathlon is officially underway. We'll show you where the race is taking participants across Dane County.
And it's going to be another chilly day across Wisconsin. I'll have the full forecast, including your Packers forecast, coming up.
Thank you for watching Weekend Mornings, and good Sunday morning to you. Thank you for joining us. I'm Armand Rahman. Michelle Renee Quinn has the day off. Jacob Montesano here, and you're watching Weekend Mornings. Jacob, tell me, do you think you could run even a half triathlon?
No.
Okay.
If you gave me time to prepare, I like to think I'm athletic, but I'm not. I've never even come close to that, so I'm going to say flat out no.
Gotcha. Okay, no, that's fair.
Yeah.
Know your limits. I can't do the swim. I'm not. Me in the water, I'm not an aquatic animal. I know some people are, not me.
Like I said, when it comes to running, bicycling and swimming, I can do all three. It's just I don't have, right now, my body does not have the stamina for that kind of physical exertion. So, like I said, if you gave me like a year, maybe, but definitely not right now.
Yeah, I might need a little bit more than a year to not drown. But
Wow.
Great morning for yesterday and today for this triathlon here in weather.
Yeah, I feel like, if you're doing physical exercise, you want it to be at least a little cool versus a little warm. But unfortunately, it is kind of very chilly right now. It will warm up later. But the good news is that we're going to see a lot of this today. Clear skies, plenty of sunshine. This is a live view from our Queen Bee Radio Sky Cam from Platteville. But this is really the case across all of southern Wisconsin. But like I mentioned, temperatures right now definitely on the chilly side, lower 40s, upper 30s for some. But the good news is that they are going to warm up nicely into the middle 60s. And I say nicely because we're not going to see wind and we're going to see plenty of sunshine. So when the sun is shining, it should feel a bit warmer, especially compared to yesterday where we had more cloud cover and a little bit of a breeze. Sunny skies, less of a breeze today will make it feel better. La Crosse will have a very similar forecast. Middle 60s are possible for some areas. And we're going to also see a very similar forecast for those of you going to the Packers game in Green Bay, as we are going to see plenty of sunshine, really great football weather. I feel like this is kind of ideal football weather. Some people may say, football weather is a bit cooler. I can understand that, but it's going to be nearly impossible to complain about this Packers forecast, especially considering there's probably going to be a game or two where the temperatures are barely above zero. I feel like the Packers always have one of those. It feels like Green Bay is like the one football, area, or like the football city that has those brutally cold games because, Minneapolis has a dome and so does Detroit. I feel like, and some of the other areas don't get quite as cold as Green Bay does. So let's take these these kind of weather games when they come because it's going to be very nice in Green Bay.
Yeah, let me tell you, Lambeau Field, man, that creates like a wind tunnel. Like I've been there and I've been freezing in full parka.
I still haven't been there. I definitely got to check it out, but I've always heard about how cold it gets. So today definitely bring a light jacket, but beyond that, it's going to be pretty good.
There we go. All right, Jacob, thank you so much. And it's great weather this weekend, like we said, for the Ironman Triathlon, and the full race kicked off just minutes ago. Today, participants will swim 2 miles, bike 113 miles, and run 26. The route takes them all over the county, from swimming in the Lake Monona by the Terrace to Oregon and even further. There were plenty of supporters who turned out yesterday to cheer for their loved ones running the half Ironman.
My mom is racing. She's been training for at least a year now. She's really trying hard today, and I wish her luck.
Always rooting for him during his bike rides and stuff, so making him breakfast and stuff. Great job, Dad. I'm very proud of you.
Making breakfast, that's awesome. The full Ironman finishes by midnight tonight. Our Tanita Shaw will have more coverage on the race later today on News 3 Now at 5:30 and 10. And remember that Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard is closed to traffic for the rest of the event, and it will reopen by 2 p.m. tomorrow. And Dane County is facing some money problems. The county is in a $31 million deficit and has asked departments to draft budgets with a 4% reduction. Our Elia Liberté shows us what's being done to address that deficit.
Yeah, there are 3 department listening sessions scheduled for this upcoming week to address that shortfall. Now, Tuesday and Wednesday sessions will happen at the City County Building in room 201. Thursday's meeting will only discuss the Health and Human Needs Committee and will be hosted at the Alliant Energy Center. The county is largely pointing to factors like inflation and state and federal underfunding as contributing factors. But I sat down with County Board Chair Patrick Miles and asked if there was anything that the county internally did to prevent this shortfall.
We've been budgeting much more closely to historical trends, where in years past, we've had reserves. We've been building up our reserves, and we just haven't had that room to do that.
Now, during this conversation, we also discussed how the county will prioritize and what it may have to cut down. You can hear all of that this Sunday at 10:30 on For the Record.
All right, Ellie, thank you. We'll see you later tonight on For the Record. Later this morning, I am not awake. The time now is about 7:10. Still ahead, we have plenty of news, including the Loper Report, what you should be streaming this weekend. And Jacob has more of your full forecast on Weekend Mornings. Jacob, what should people be sure to look out for as they head to Lambeau Field or watch the Packers game from home today?
I think it's going to be a pretty good day, all things considered. We'll see plenty of sunshine. Although temperatures are going to be below normal, they're not going to be too cool once we get to the afternoon. They are definitely pretty chilly right now, but in general, it will be fall-like today. But for those of you that like it warmer, 70s returning tomorrow, possibly 80s by the end of the week. And overall, we're not going to see much rain throughout the week. Now, let's take a look at our one small chance of rain for this week, at least for the next couple of days. Now, that's not going to be the case today. Plenty of sunshine, just a few clouds here and there. Clear skies again for the overnight hours, and although we may see a little bit more cloud cover for Monday morning, still going to see plenty of sunshine for your Monday, with some more clouds finally developing and a little bit more consistently for Monday night. But we're still not expecting rainfall until later in the day on Tuesday. Now, for those of you further off to the north near La Crosse and Eau Claire, you folks may see some rain Monday night into Tuesday morning, but southern Wisconsin, the best chance of showers will be Tuesday afternoon and evening, and even this chance of rain likely not going to produce a lot of precipitation. These showers will kind of be in a dissipating mode as they move from west to east. Still going to see some rain from Madison and surrounding areas, but overall not that much. Maybe some pockets of heavier rain for areas to the west, but most of the rainfall Tuesday will be on the lighter side, with cloudy skies and drier conditions for Tuesday night. Maybe some lingering showers, but not much. Then we're going to be mostly dry for Wednesday through Friday, with another chance of rain returning Saturday. But Tuesday and Saturday, right now we are not expecting a ton of precipitation either days. Now, as far as temperatures, again, very fall-like today. Highs will be in the middle 60s. The good news is that we'll see plenty of sunshine, with clear skies overnight causing another chilly morning for Monday. We'll be a bit milder further west, as lows will be in the middle to upper 40s. But then as we get towards Monday afternoon, it's certainly going to feel better. Highs in the middle to lower 70s. Once again, plenty of sunshine, and the temperatures from there, they're just going to continue to warm up. Lower 70s Tuesday, middle 70s Wednesday, upper 70s Thursday, possibly in the lower 80s for Friday and Saturday. And next week, we may not be in the 80s, but we're still going to easily be in the 70s. So we're going to say goodbye to the 60s for now, after today, at least the highs in the 60s. Obviously, it will drop possibly into the 50s overnight, so we're definitely going to see 60s at some point over the course of every 24 hours. But as far as the high temperatures, they're not going to be in the 60s after today for quite a while, possibly middle 50s for some areas by the time we get to the end of the week. So in general, it's definitely going to be a lot more summer-like, especially compared to how chilly it's been this week and what it will continue to be today. 70s are going to be the norm starting tomorrow and continuing, not just for the 10-day forecast, but it looks like even beyond the next 10 days, it's going to remain very mild.
All right, Jacob, thank you. We'll be right back on Weekend Mornings.
You're watching Weekend Mornings.
Welcome back to Weekend Mornings. There's clearly no shortage of films and shows streaming right now. Our Will Loper has more on what you should catch from your couch.
He is your responsibility. Got it.
We promise.
Yeah.
Hit the waves with the 2025 film Lilo and Stitch, newly streaming on Disney+.
Ew. We are not keeping this thing.
Ohana means family. Family means nobody gets left behind
or forgotten.
The latest live-action Disney remake follows a young girl befriending a wild alien.
Buying back stacking his records. It's a lot of money. There's more to life than just making money.
Watch Denzel Washington and Spike Lee re-team in the 2025 film Highest to Lowest, newly streaming on Apple TV+.
King David, now ain't this something? I got your full attention now, huh? You finally listening to me.
Somebody's got Trey.
What do you mean
Somebody's kidnapped our son.
The remake of the 1963 Akira Kurosawa film stars Denzel Washington as a music mogul who becomes targeted in a ransom plot.
I know what that means, to have nothing and want everything.
What is that? Insurance. That's Jake from State Farm.
From across Britain, thousands applied. Just 12 of the country's best home bakers have made it to the baking show tent.
And fire up the ovens for a new season of The Great British Baking Show, newly streaming on Netflix.
Yeah? Everyone's scared about Paul, but Bruce, Loki Savage.
A fresh set of 12 bakers will craft their best cakes, breads, and biscuits.
I knew the pressure in here would be real.
Quick, quick, quick.
Looks like it's been dropped out of a tree.
Those are the 3 things you need to watch, and this is Will Loper for Weekend Mornings.
All right, there we go. I didn't see that new Lilo and Stitch remake, but I've heard mixed things.
Yeah, I've seen some memes on social media. I don't want to spoil it. I haven't seen it, but I don't want to spoil it for those that haven't seen it. But it did incredible box office numbers, though. I think it was the one of the biggest movies, if not the biggest, of the year. So definitely worked out for what I'm sure that's what Disney was hoping for, for sure.
Yes,
so that worked out in that
exactly.
regard.
More live action remakes. I'm sure that's what Disney is like churning out now in their brains. So
Yeah,
what can
yeah.
we remake again?
I mean, as long as people go see it, they're going to keep making it. So.
I guess so. I guess so, Jacob. Well, meanwhile, tell me a little bit about what the weather's going to be like today.
So we're going to have those fall-like temperatures, but it's also going to be dry, and that's kind of the dry weather and the cool temperature, I should say, they both have been the story. But I want to talk about the dry weather. So as we look at the precipitation for the month, we have basically seen none, just about 1/10 of an inch of rain, and we had a lot of rain in August, which brought the year. The amount of rainfall we saw for the entire year from Madison above normal, but now that normal has come back to what we have seen this year, and we are pretty close to it. Now, the good news is that we still haven't seen any drought conditions form, and although we are going to continue to be dry, still not too concerned about the drought, but we're really not going to see a lot of precipitation this week. The colors are not working, but there is going to be at least a little bit of rainfall. There we go. A little bit of rainfall, but again, not much over the next 7 days, and it looks like we're going to continue to be dry beyond that. So again, no drought conditions forming yet, but considering how dry it's going to continue to be, we may start to see some drought conditions form across Wisconsin.
All right, Jacob, thank you. Still ahead, the diocese response as allegations against one of their priests mount, and we take a look at Kurt Fest at Breese Stevens Field. You're watching Weekend Mornings. Right now, the latest on the victims of a fatal crash in Milwaukee, what we're learning about their identities.
And it's going to be another very fall-like day across Wisconsin. I'll have your full forecast and your Packers forecast coming up.
Thank you for watching Weekend Mornings. It is Sunday morning. I'm Armand Rahman, filling in for Michelle Renee Quinn.
And I'm meteorologist Jacob Montesano. Thanks for waking up with us this Sunday, September 7th. As I've been saying the last couple of days, it is early September. It's still, typically a little bit on the warmer side this time of the year, but not today. It's going to feel more like October.
It is. And you know what? That's great news for people who are doing the full Ironman that's happening as we speak right now. I'm surprised we can't see them because they're spread out across Dane County.
This is in Platteville.
This is in Platteville, obviously, so we can't see them. I knew this. Don't worry. But, yeah, they're all over Dane County today. We'll have more on that race in a little bit, Jacob.
Yeah, and what we're seeing right now here in Platteville, this is what we're going to see for pretty much the entire day, or wouldn't say the entire day. A few clouds are expected, but we're going to see plenty of sunshine. This is the case across all of southern Wisconsin. Now, temperatures definitely on the cool side right now, lower 40s, some upper 30s even out there. So very chilly right now, and although we are going to be below normal, the temperatures by the afternoon aren't going to be too bad. They're certainly going to be comfortable, especially with those sunny skies. We also will see very calm winds, so when the sun is shining, it will feel a bit warmer. And although the actual temperatures will be similar to yesterday, it will feel warmer with that sunshine. Similar forecast for you folks in La Crosse, highs in the middle to lower 60s. And it's also going to be similar up in Green Bay for the Packers opener. Plenty of sunshine, highs in the middle to lower 60s. Great football weather. Definitely enjoy the game. Maybe bring a light jacket, but that'll be about it. Now, I'll continue talking about the forecast for the rest of the week, where we are expecting warmer temperatures. The details on that are coming up a bit later.
All right, thanks, Jacob. We'll check back in with you in just a bit. And like we said, it's great weather this weekend for the Ironman Triathlon, and the full race kicked off just half an hour ago. Today, participants, they're swimming 2 miles, biking 113 miles, and running 26 miles, which is insane. That route takes them all over the county, from swimming in Lake Monona by the Terrace to Oregon and even further. Our Tanisha Shaw will have coverage of the full Ironman today on News 3 Now at 5:30 and 6. And topping our headlines this morning, another update in the story involving the Madison area priest who was arrested and charged with child sex crimes after an undercover online Clintonville police sting found him trying to meet up with a girl he thought was 14 years old for sex. Father Andrew Showers is due to appear in court at the end of this month on September 30th. And our continuing coverage of that priest, who was also accused of sexual assault, the Diocese of Madison pushing back, saying they had no knowledge that it was Father Andrew Showers who was accused of sexually assaulting this woman in Chicago in 2024. On Thursday, Patricia Moriarty claimed that last January, Showers groped her and used sexually aggressive language while she and others were at a public establishment in Chicago. Moriarty and her father said that after that happened, they went to the Diocese of Madison, reported the assault, and requested to speak with Bishop Donald Hying, who did not get in contact with them. Tonight, the diocese said Mr. Moriarty did report the assault by a priest to the diocese, but they say he would not discuss any more details or the identity of the priest because he wanted to speak to the bishop. According to the diocese, it is against protocol to have the bishop speak to witnesses in sexual assault cases to protect the integrity of police investigations. The diocese claims it asked Moriarty's father to share the police report and priest's name with the victim assistance coordinator, but he refused. The diocese also said the DOJ never contacted them about allegations against Showers. The diocese said that had they known Father Showers was the one accused, they would have, quote, taken immediate action that would have been taken. Bishop Donald Hying echoed those sentiments in a statement following the diocese statement, in which he said, quote, regarding this latest allegation, had we known the identity of the priest being accused of this abusive misconduct, he would have been removed from active public ministry immediately. The bishop went on to say the diocese did not post Showers' bail, adding, quote, furthermore, Father Showers is solely responsible for his criminal legal defense and its related expenses. The diocese is not providing him legal representation. And the bishop claimed that victim advocacy groups Nate's Mission and Survivors Network of Those Abused by Priests, or SNAP, painted an untrue and scandalous version of events. A representative from Nate's Mission responded, along with John Moriarty, the victim's father in question. Nate's Mission calling the diocese and bishop's claims, quote, a textbook example of victim blaming. John Moriarty says, quote, "I've never been in this situation before. The truth is the diocese had more than enough details to act if they wanted to, and Bishop Hying refused to return my call. My daughter deserved protection, and so did every other person Father Showers came into contact with after my call. The diocese failed us, and they failed the public." Authorities are investigating an accident that left an 18-year-old driver dead in the town of Shields Saturday evening. According to the Dodge County Sheriff's Office, around 6:30 Saturday evening, Dodge County Sheriff's deputies were dispatched to a single vehicle crash on County Road Q and Pitt Road. Investigators say a 2006 Acura sedan was going north on Q when it left the road and hit several trees. The 18-year-old driver from Watertown was pronounced dead at the scene. The name of that driver has not been released as the crash remains under investigation. And Marquette University is announcing that the 2 men killed in a car crash Friday afternoon were lacrosse players for the university's team. All weekend events have been canceled as a result. On Friday, around 5 p.m., a 41-year-old driver collided with Noah Snyder and Scott Machad's vehicle. They were pronounced dead at the scene. The 4 other occupants received non-life-threatening injuries and were treated on scene and at local hospitals. Nearby residents say the crash shows how dangerous some of these local roads can be.
Over here, so much speeding going on, you see it all the time. You see accidents here. I've been over here like 25 years. I done had to replace that fence, this one 15 times. And you see a lot of accidents. Ambulance coming through, the truck, the front end, it knocked over, the pole knocked down. So it's a lot of speeding coming through here.
The university says 3 of the 4 injured were also lacrosse student athletes. They held a mass yesterday in remembrance and are offering resources to support affected students and staff. The driver was taken into custody and an investigation is ongoing. Criminal charges are pending review by the Milwaukee County District Attorney's Office. Well, summer is coming to an end and many people are starting to embrace the fall. There were a ton of people at the Harvest Festival in Verona. That was a free event hosted by Urban Triage that gave out free produce. Our Tanisha Shaw stopped by and has more.
These drummers are blessing farmland in Verona and welcoming the fall season.
Bringing people who have never seen this space before to it so they can experience it, celebrate it with us. There are very few spaces like our Harvest Festival at this particular farm, the Farley Center.
Here you can see people enjoying live music while enjoying family-friendly events and getting some free, fresh fall produce.
I think it's very cool, to be honest. There's like a lot of activities for little kids and big kids and adults. Like they can go over there and drink the wine.
According to the kids at the festival, there is a lot to enjoy.
My first favorite part is about the face painting. The cotton candy and the bouncy house. The cotton candy.
Why was the cotton candy your favorite part?
Because the cotton candy is sweet. And it melts in your mouth.
And the weather's just right, and I feel like, you know, everybody just loves it.
The diversity at this festival stood out to a lot of people that I spoke to.
Culture, like dancing and stuff. I think the food and also the diversity here, because there are a lot of Black people, and I love that personally.
Urban Triage's agricultural program manager said the nonprofit intentionally hosts this event and all of their ag programs at this farm for that exact reason.
So we strive to make sure that it is accessible, especially for our Black community. So the fact that they love seeing so many people who look like them out here is exactly what we're aiming to do. And just to celebrate, yeah. Everybody deserves to have access to land like this.
If you weren't able to join the fun Saturday, Urban Triage wants everyone to know that this land is available for tours throughout the year. Reporting in Verona, Tanisha Shaw, News 3 Now.
Tanisha, thank you. This weekend, farmers and knitters alike are flocking to Wisconsin's Sheep and Wool Festival. The Jefferson County staple features 4 days packed full with events like fleece shows and fiber art classes. Festival co-coordinator Hedge Becker says the festival attracts fiber art fanatics of all ages.
It's really everything. I think a lot of people think that, especially the fiber arts, they kind of think of them as a granny kind of craft, and really the younger generations are picking it up. They're social media savvy. You have designers on Instagram with, 30, 40,000 followers and that kind of stuff.
The festival runs until this evening. We'll be right back.
You're watching Weekend Mornings.
Welcome back. Falls are one of the #1 contributors to injury and death in adults in the United States. Our Kyrian Lee joins us for this morning's health conversation with Dr. Rupa Shah on fall prevention.
The CDC says 1 in 4 older adults report falling every year, and injuries from falls are the leading cause of death in the U.S. September is Fall Prevention Awareness Month, and Dr. Rupa Shah, a family medicine physician and wellness coach at SSM Health, joins me right now to talk about lowering the risk of dangerous falls. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So first and foremost, many people who fall never tell anyone. So why is that?
Yeah, it's that fear of losing your independence, and they're fearful that they may no longer be able to stay in their own homes as they've been doing. So they may not mention it to loved ones or even to their physician, but we know that falls can have devastating consequences. So a severe fall can really result in a hip fracture, which can be devastating, or a compression fracture of the lower spine, and we really want to prevent those if we can.
Yes, and speaking of prevention, what are some things that we can do to prevent falls?
So first of all, talk to your physician, because we do have resources such as things like physical therapy that we can get you engaged in to prevent those types of falls, because a lot of falls, again, are very preventable. Going over your medication, so talking to your physician and pharmacist to see about potential drug interactions or seeing which of your medications could be leading to dizziness, drowsiness, loss of balance. A lot of medications can have side effects, as you know, and sometimes just eliminating or not, just being aware of those drug interactions can be really the key. Eliminating things at home that you can trip and fall on, that's a really big thing to be aware of too. There's a lot of hazards in people's own homes. Rugs that may easily be slipping, things that you could trip on, and then also being aware of your eyesight, so making sure you're getting yearly eye exams, because of course being able to see well can prevent those falls as well.
Yes, I'll get tips from young to old.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, and so what about exercise?
Yeah, so I think one of the biggest and strongest predictors of staying healthy and strong as you age is lower body strength. So working on the lower body and focusing on strength in the quad muscles, super important. So this can be achieved by walking, biking is great, but even things like Tai Chi, chair yoga, engaging in these types of activities regularly can really keep your independence and your strength up as you age.
All right.
Yeah.
All good things as we head into the Fall Prevention Month in general. Yes. So, well, Dr. Shah, before we go, where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Wellness with Dr. Shah.
Thanks for joining us.
Okay, thanks for having me.
All right, Kyrie and Dr. Shah, thank you. Still ahead, Andrew breaks down what made the Badgers so successful against Middle Tennessee and if that's enough to help them against Alabama. Plus, Jacob brings you the final forecast when we come back on Weekend Mornings.
Welcome back. Here's a final look at the 3 things you need to know. Fall-like temperatures today, but 70s returning tomorrow with possibly 80s by the end of the week. And throughout this, we're not going to see much rain. Now looking at the cloud cover and rainfall forecast for the next couple of days, not going to see any rain today, just a few passing clouds. Otherwise, very sunny skies. Clear skies will then continue overnight with maybe some clouds developing for Monday morning, but Monday will feature very similar sky conditions with plenty of sunshine and just a few clouds here and there. Now we'll see cloudier skies by Monday night, maybe some light showers for those of you from La Crosse to Eau Claire, but southern Wisconsin won't see the rain until a little bit later in the day on Tuesday, and even then we're not going to see much, just a few passing showers. Most of the rain will be on the lighter side, maybe some pockets of heavier rain further west, but it is going to dissipate as it moves from west to east with maybe some lingering precipitation Tuesday night, but for the most part we are going to be dry, and then the dry weather will continue once we head towards the end of the work week with maybe a little bit of an increase in the rain chances Saturday, but still not expected to see much. Looking at the temperatures today, fall-like, middle to lower 60s for highs. The good news is that, unlike yesterday, today will feature almost completely sunny skies, and the clear skies are going to continue overnight, which will lead to another chilly start to Monday. Maybe a little bit warmer for those of you further west, middle to upper 40s, but middle to lower 40s for Madison and surrounding areas, and especially areas off to the north. But by Monday afternoon, it will be better. Lower 70s are in the forecast, plenty of sunshine, and from here, those temperatures are just going to continue to rise. highs. Looking at the highs for the next 10 days, lower 70s Tuesday, middle 70s Wednesday, then upper 70s to low 80s for the end of the week from Thursday, possibly through the entire weekend, and upper 70s may continue into early next week. Meanwhile, the average high is 76. And that average high is going to decrease. So by the time we get to the weekend, the average high will be around 74 to 75. So it'll be well above normal compared to the well below normal temperatures that we've been seeing the last couple of weeks. So looking at the full 10-day forecast, chance of rain Tuesday, chance of rain Wednesday or Saturday. Beyond that, we're going to be very dry. And even those rain chances for Tuesday and Saturday likely not going to amount to much. And as I talk about those temperatures continuing to rise after the fall-like day today, it's going to be a little bit more summer-like again by the time we get to the end of the week. And I've been saying for a few weeks that those 80s are going to return, and it looks like that is indeed going to happen for the end of this week.
All right, Jacob, thank you. Well, the Badgers crushed Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders yesterday. Our Andrew Bannister was at the game and has all the highlights and reaction from some of the star players.
It wasn't always pretty, but it was a win. And for Luke Fickell, that will work just fine. The Wisconsin Badgers are off to a 2-0 start, thanks in large part to their backup quarterback making his first start as a Wisconsin Badger. Wisconsin took just a 4-point lead into the break. In the first half, they rushed for just 14 yards as a team. So in the second half, they had to turn their attention to some other avenues of offense. Case in point, Vinny Anthony, the wide receiver, he gets the ball, and he is off to the races. A 14-yard touchdown run. That basically unlocked the Badgers' offense. It was a masterclass for Danny O'Neal, throwing for 283 yards and 3 touchdowns. Those passing yards, the most by a Badger in his first start at Wisconsin. This one, a bomb to Jaden Ballard, who retrieves it and makes a house call. 58 yards, and he throws the deuce up, putting the Blue Raiders at an arm's distance. But the Badgers, they wanted more, and so did Danny O'Neal, who went to his tight end Lance Mason early and often. How about 7 catches for 102 yards and a touchdown for number 86, who gets across the goal line and puts Middle Tennessee State to bed. A fantastic finish for the Badger that'll need some cleaning up before Alabama in week 3.
I mean, Danny fires me up, man. I mean, sometimes you forget he's a young guy. The way he's vocal out there and leading the offense, and when things aren't going right, you'll hear it from him, and he gets on you, but he's uplifting. It's that's how you got to be. So I mean, I thought he did great today, even when things weren't going great. We weren't helping him out, and I thought he definitely rode the storm, and I think we got a lot better the second half.
No, I can't praise the guys around me enough. They really did make my job easy all day long. Coach getting us into the right plays, allowing me to check plays at the line, just getting the offense into the right play, and having the trust and everyone around me to do their job, making my job as easy as it could have been.
He had a great week of practice, and part of that was me and his relationship. Like, I felt like we were in a great place going into that game, and we made the same plays in the game as we did in practice. So yeah, just having that confidence and that relationship, it felt good.
As Luke Fickell said, all's well that ends well. It may not have started so well out here, but boy, did it finish well as the Badgers take it 42-10 over Middle Tennessee State. But the real challenge starts now. Games 1 and 2 were supposed to be wins. The rest of the slate, however, is going to be awfully difficult. We'll get to that later and celebrate this win tonight. For now, Andrew Bannister at Camp Randall Stadium for News 3 Sports.
Thanks, Andrew. And still ahead on Weekend Mornings, what would you do with $1 billion? Well, you got a little more time to think now where the winning Powerball tickets were sold. Plus, here's a look at what's to come on For the Record.
Coming up on For the Record, schools are officially back in session. So we check in with the Wisconsin State Superintendent about how the Department of Public Instruction grades schools and districts. And Dane County is about $30 million short in its 2026 budget. What that could mean for critical services. That's all ahead this morning on For the Record at 10:30. You're watching Weekend Mornings.
Well, finally this morning, time to check your lottery ticket because winning tickets for the $1.8 billion Powerball jackpot went to Jacob Montesano.
No.
They were sold in Missouri and Texas. The winning numbers were 11, 23, 44, 61, 62 with a red Powerball of 17 and a power play multiplier of 2. Additionally, 2 lucky tickets sold in Kansas and Texas, and they won $2 million, and 18 tickets sold across 13 states won $1 million. Now, these wins yesterday mean a streak of 42 consecutive drawings without a jackpot winner. The jackpot will reset at $20 million for Monday's drawing. Jacob, really quick, what would you do with even $20 million?
I don't know. I feel like I'm someone that would be a little bit like relaxed with it in terms like I wouldn't spend a bunch of money at like up front. Like I'd buy like a house and like probably a house for my parents, but like I wouldn't go absolutely wild. I'd obviously, you know, unsurprisingly, I feel like many people would probably, you know, take plenty of time off, if not permanent time off. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I would do next after like buying like a house for like, you know, myself and.
Well, don't hold your breath. Buying that house might knock a lot of that $20 million.
True. I thought we were talking about $1 billion because that's what they want. That's what some people want today.
Oh
but
gosh,
I mean,
$1
$20 million, yeah. $20 million, yeah, that would knock it off depending on the size of the house. And it's funny you make that joke because Michelle Renee said she bought a ticket. I didn't buy a ticket, but yesterday she saw a ticket. And I was gonna be like, spoiler alert, it's not Michelle Renee. If you're watching yesterday when we were saying that, but
she's not here, so maybe it is Michelle Renee.
Maybe, I mean, no, I think she went to college in Missouri. Maybe she traveled down to buy the ticket there.
Ooh, that is Jacob has a journalistic theory. I like that. Well, thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you later today on News 3 Now at 5:30.